All right, let's talk about this. We want to bring in CNN Tonight anchor Don Lemon and Hugh Hewitt, radio talk show host of the Hugh Hewitt Show and a panelist of next week's Republican debate right here on CNN. Gentlemen, great to see you. Hugh, let me start with you. Let's just pull up these poll numbers again because they're very interesting. This was just out an hour ago, New York Times, CBS polls, and these numbers track almost identically to what CNN's most recent poll was. Donald Trump in this poll at 35%. In the CNN poll, he was at 36%. Then number two, Ted Cruz at half that, 16%. Then Carson, 13%. Rubio, 9%. Bush, 3%. Hugh, what are you seeing?
Well, I think 35% is a significant number. Donald Trump has a significant lead right now. I do want to go through the numbers very quickly, Allison. It takes 1,236 delegates to get the nomination. There are 30 delegates at stake in Iowa, 23 in New Hampshire, 50 in South Carolina, and 30 in Nevada. Then there's 565 on Super Tuesday. And there are about 300 in a couple of weeks afterwards. Those are all proportional delegates. So by March 15th, when the winner-take-alls roll in, there are 1,000 delegates available. That means if Donald Trump wins 35% of them, he'll have 350 delegates of 1,236 necessary to win. The race is so far from over, but right now, after one lap of like a 14 or 15 lap race, Donald Trump's way ahead, and Don Lemon helped him last night by giving him a lot of opportunity to do a very long, extended revision and explanation of his remarks. It was a great interview. But that 35% is going to be solid for some time.
Don, in terms of what he thinks of the ban, did you get a sense that he wanted to qualify it, he wanted to make it more palatable, that he felt that he had gone too far?
So, you know, when we conduct these interviews, I said, okay, well, let's start off on a good foot so that you can continue the interview, and then you hit him. So I started off with the polls. Right away, he wanted to talk about the ban. And he wanted to continue to talk about the ban because I actually do think that he thinks it's important. And I don't get the sense that he thinks it's wrong.
Yeah, maybe he wants to clarify, or you forced him to clarify?
No, he wanted to clarify it. And I wanted more detail. What I wanted from him is practicality. How would he put this into practice? How would this work? Was he going to stop people, you know, as they're coming over on the plane? Is a TSA agent? How is this going to happen? So it's not for me to judge whether it's right or wrong. It's your plan. This is your plan. Explain it and how you're going to make it work.
But did he give the specifics of how he was going to execute it?
Well, he said, yeah, we have to have, you know, members of our member nations and all of our allies join in. You heard that in the longer interview, join in to help us with that. It's not going to, of course, you're not going to get everyone, but there will be exceptions. But we've got to start somewhere, basically.
Look, Hugh, I think you have a bigger problem within the party. The practicalities are obvious. The legalities are arguable, but also obvious. You have a moral question here that is going to be a position of leadership, values, what you are and what you're not. And the question is, it's easy for people to say, I don't like what Trump just said. Who is offering something better to acknowledge the fear and make people feel that it can be better?
You know, as I watched Don last night, and again, it was a superb interview, Donald Trump used the word animal, right, to describe the terrorist killers of San Bernardino. That is a word with incredibly visceral connection with people who are afraid. And so Donald Trump goes up emotionally in his connection with his voters. Now, on the stage on Tuesday night, he will be challenged by other Republicans as to the totality of the ban, and he'll respond as he did to Don by refining and extending his remarks. But what is going on in the heart of the Republican Party is a search for who can viscerally connect with people on a way to completely devastate Hillary Clinton, who is not viewed as trustworthy and who is not as weak as President Obama is viewed. And so Donald Trump's 35% makes, it's not a moral case. I think it's a visceral, emotional connection. I'd also point out, he's a developer. He always asks for more density than he ends up settling for. He always overstates and then walks back, refines, and gets what he wants. So what I saw unfolding last night and the day before, Chris, in your interview with him, is a very expert communicator, and I've said this a million times. He's done more television than anybody else in this race. He uses this camera better than anyone else in this race. But that 35% may be the ceiling that he can't get through. And the most interesting thing that Don had last night was a conversation about, will you stay in the race? What's it mean to be treated fair? And I'll leave it for Don to summarize that. But as a Republican, and I'm a conservative Republican. I'm not going to vote for Hillary. I'm going to support the nominee of the Republican Party. I don't have any favorites, but I leaned in when Don asked him those questions. And I'm not sure what I heard. I'd be interested to hear what Don heard.
Don, what was your impression? I mean, what does he mean? Treated fairly.
It's so nebulous. He said treated fairly. But he said specifically, if I'm not treated as the front runner by far, you heard that, with that respect and decorum, then I'm going to do what I have to do. What he is saying, and I said it, Hugh, I asked him, he kept bringing up the Republican establishment. And I say, you really take issue with the Republican establishment. Why? He doesn't feel that they take him seriously much of the time, that he is indeed the front runner by double digits. If you look at anyone on you know, in that polling that we have and that the New York Times just released, by double digits, he's a front runner. He doesn't feel that he gets the respect.
He doesn't feel it.
It's like Rodney Dangerfield. You know, I get no respect.
Because
right?
he doesn't. Hugh Hewitt,
right.
You guys don't like him in the party. I mean, you call us all the time.
Don't say you guys.
Well, you just said you're a conservative Republican.
I'm just a panelist.
you just said you're a conservative Republican.
I'm just a panelist.
A lot of your brothers and sisters call us on the phone and say, why are you boosting this guy? You know, you just doing this for Hillary Clinton? He's not going to be the nominee. Why are you wasting this time? You know, he's right to feel that the GOP isn't embracing him.
Oh, you know, it was funny. Last night he made very clear comments on gun control, and he dismissed as completely irrelevant to the question of terror in America ideas that magazine rounds will stop animals with pipe bombs, 19 pipe bombs. When he does that, and I point out that he was very clear on gun control, a lot of Trump opponents took to Twitter to denounce me for saying he did a good job in denouncing gun control. There are a lot of people that don't like Donald Trump. There are a lot of people that do like Donald Trump. Back to my numbers. I'm a numbers guy. Takes 1,236 delegates to nominate. He's got 35% of the first 1,000. It's so long to go, but what he's done, he's completely inverted this race, because it used to be if you won Iowa, you got a lot of media attention, you do well in New Hampshire. You can't get any more media attention than Donald Trump's already got. So on that stage, we'll have Trump. On his one side will be Ted Cruz. On his other side will be Marco Rubio. A little bit further, Chris Christie. Those are the four in the top tier. And if the other four can, you know, Fiorina and Kasich and Jeb Bush and whoever else I've forgotten, they all need to pile in on Donald Trump. If he thinks that's not treating him fairly, that would be misinformed, because the front runner always get dogpiled. It's sort of like when a Browns breaks away for a touchdown, they're always chasing his heels, and they usually catch him. Well, they're going to catch up to Donald Trump in the next couple of weeks.
That was a football analogy.
As Chris and I always say, though, the guy that carries a ball gets hit. Why are people criticizing me? Yep. Well, you're carrying the ball.
That's exactly
You're
right.
going to get hit.
There you go.
So that's
all right, Hugh, we know you have to go get ready for the debate, so we'll let you go.